Good morning. Okay. Coming to the answer. Because we'll start with answer. So far, you have been reading concepts. It doesn't matter how long you are reading, like maybe for January, maybe for last July, maybe for this March, but you are just reading. You have never seen the paper from the answers perspective, like how you have to structure an answer. And you have the wrong notion of your university exam answers. Yes or no? So what do we do for university exams? Huh? Fill the answer book. Very honest answer. Fill. The number of pages is equal to number of marks. If you want to get 35, you have to write 35 pages. That is what is the target. Yes or no? If you have beautiful writing, if you have beautiful presentation, sometimes even with 20 pages, you can get 35. But above that, it is all your hard work. Yes or no? And how many days we read? Gap, the gap between two consecutive examination. That is our preparation period. Yes or no? Do you think we have done justice with our university papers? Nobody, even the first ranker, gold medal, 15, 20 gold medals that person will be wearing. But if you ask to touch the heart and tell, you have done justice with your degree. No way. It is good with every university. Okay? So that is how we have got the degrees. And that is why we have come to the classes also. If we had studied normally for our life, maybe we wouldn't have come to the classes at all. We'd have studied on our own. But we don't have that confidence that I can study on my own and clear. That is the fear. Yes or no? Because our education system has become like that. Yeah. Another few years, you are going to listen to the music of unemployment. Already that is existing. And here in the classroom, we are hiding the unemployment, How many of you agree that we are hiding the unemployment in this classroom? Yes? Yes or no? Indirectly? Maybe this is for knowledge gain. But indirectly, we are hiding the unemployment. That is why our three-year degree courses are becoming 4-year degree courses now. 4-year degree courses are becoming 5-year degree course. That means what? Entire 1 year in life is skipped? No. So for a nation, for an year, you need not show that unemployment. No, they are pursuing the higher degrees. They are pursuing the competitive examinations. So I should not criticize the government. But this is my view. This is my view. Tell me, the degrees what you have finished in 3 years, is it fun to take 1 more year to finish that? Is there any fun? For the engineers, how many are engineers here? Okay, only one. Oh my God. Now you are minority, man. Huh? So 4 years, right? So if it is made 5 years or if it is made 3 years, is there any fun? It is all the same, right? Yes? So we have done lot of like game playing with our education system so far. Be it National Education Policy 2020, be it National Education Policy 1986. It is all properly planned so that we are remained here only. We are remained here only. If at all, if somebody is thinking for the good education system, we don't want bigger universities. We don't want the bigger research centers. They will be created on their own in the natural process. If at all you want to make one country's education system very robust, make our primary schools as the best learning center. Whatever we are today, good, average, bad, whatever, it is because of our primary schooling, nothing else. And whatever that you are going to, get as a, what I can say, garnishing, 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 you understand? Take a plate of upma, put coriander leaves, put some gratings of, like coconut. That is what is garnishing. Our primary education is the basic ingredient what we have put on the plate. And whatever we have put on the top, no, that is after the primary education. And do you think we have given enough attention for our primary schools? Just imagine. Think of your primary school teachers who made a difference to your life. There may be 20 teachers, but there will be only one teacher whom you will remember. Yes or no? Among 20, you will remember only one. So that is the ratio of a good teacher to the average teachers now. Only 5%. So with that 5% of the teachers in India, can we build better India, new India, shining India, robust India, superpower India? Do you think? Can we create? So whatever that we are creating now, no? Economic growth is 7.2%, right? Recently, 2 days back it came, no? We all thumped our chest. 7.2%. And in the very first chapter of our economy, we read the difference between the growth and the development. I think the persons who are sitting here have come across this class. That is the basic difference between growth and the development. What is the difference between growth and development? What is the difference between growth and development? Only? Okay. Growth means what? It is basically arithmetic. Growth is arithmetic. See, if I have produced the goods or services worth rupees 100 this year, if I produce the goods and service worth 110 rupees next year, what is my growth rate? 10%, no? But whether this 10%, the growth which the country has grown, whether the redistribution of this 10% or the 10 rupees extra has happened to the all strata of the society. Whether the redistribution has happened. I'll tell you, we have very, 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 very big companies. Like we have Jio, we have like Adani Group, we have Ambani Group, we have Tata, we have Birla, everyone. Do you think they can ever be poor in next 1,000 years? As a person, I'm asking. Mukesh Ambani, can he be bankrupt in next 100 years? Tata, Birla, yes. So they produce the maximum goods, right? Be it a car, okay, be it other goods and services also. For example, airlines, all that thing. That is how it amounts to the growth. But in the same company, be it Tata's, be it Ambani's, be it somebody else's, the last person, the chaprasi or the watchman or the gateman there or the person who works in the canteen, has that person grown? Has that person developed? Is that person like fulfilling his needs the way the country is growing? So this is the difference between the growth and development. And while the Tatas, Birlas or the Ambanis or some very like great groups in India, they have grown at the cost of smaller businesses. If they have grown at the cost of smaller businesses, growth numbers will come, but the smaller business has died. What about the livelihood of that entire family? So this is all counted in development. But in growth rate, only numbers. Today I produced 100 rupees worth goods. Next year I am producing 110 rupees worth goods and my growth rate is 10%. Okay. In my house only, let's say, there is a family of 5, and if I am not taking care of my elderly or the parents or my in-laws or whatever, if I am not taking care of them, if I am not paying the medical attention to them, if I am not addressing their care, do I call my growth as development? So development is a very big concept. Whenever you come across development, it is not numbers. It is about the entire development, be it health, be it education, be it skill, be it your well-being. So that is all is counted in development. We should not celebrate the 7.2% growth. How many smaller businesses have been closed in Corona? That we have to address. How many people have lost their jobs? How many people have become homeless? How many people are sleeping on the road? How many people fight for a square meal? So that is all should be counted, and that is what is counted in the development. There are many indicators related to our socio-economic development. Okay, we should be celebrating that. Now tell me, we are growing at 7.2%. What is India's ranking in Global Hunger Index? What is India's ranking in Global Hunger Index? Around 130. Out of around, let's say, 140, 150 countries, we are at 130. Do you think our growth has been redistributed to everyone? Understood? So why I'm asking all these things, why I'm trying to explain all these things is about your conceptual clarity. Your conceptual clarity. All these things are going to help in the mains. Okay? So coming to see, university answers I came, then I came to the education. From education, I came to society or society. Then from there, I came to economy. Then I came to growth and what? The development. So, if you look at the entire process, we are hollow from inside. We are hollow from inside. How many people really thought about research during our studies? You are good at least one subject. All of us at least are good at one subject. I myself say to myself that I am very good in arithmetic. But did I go for research? I don't know how to go for research. Meanwhile, this has to be addressed, no? If I go to the top floor directly, who will address my ground floor? Yes or no? And do I have the easy way to go for this thing? No. How PhDs are made, you know. Appease your what? The guide. Appease your guide. Give all, like gifts to your guide. And one day guide will come and sign. And you make around 400 pages research paper, submit it to the university, nobody will read it, and they will give you doctorate. Yeah? So that is how the universities are functioning. This is the sorrow state. If your primary education is not grown well, then whatever that we achieve, it is meaningless. So kindly forget what you have studied so far. Studied so far in the sense in the university. Not here. In the university, whatever that you have studied and whatever that you have developed, no, forget that. We are going to the new pedestal. What UPSC expects from your answers? Crisp. Crisp means kharara. Yes, kharara, right? For example, if you take chips, break the chips, how the sound will come? Katak. If it is stale, if you have kept it for 20 days, will it cut? You have to tear it. It will not cut in one press. You have to tear it. So your answer should be crisp means as soon as an evaluator read any sentence, he should get some solid point, or he should get some solid justification. You should not write this, that, he, she, okay, there, here. You should try to reduce all the stuff, You have to write very powerful words which are meant for the particular subject. That is what is the crisp answer. Then, this is the major deviation from our university answers. To the point. Here, to the point. Because here, the time is less and space is also less. You have to write to the point. In our university, what do we do, no? What do we do? We write what we know. We don't write what they demand. For example, the essay will be on elephant. Okay. How do we write an essay on elephant in universities? You have prepared only for one topic. Let's say the topic that you have prepared is wall. And in the examination, the question on elephant has come. What we do, we take the elephant and hide it behind the wall and we start writing about wall. And the entire piece of writing will be wall only. But where is the elephant? The elephant is behind there only. I mean, like behind wall only. So this is what is our, like the university answer. But here, in every sentence, I mean, like in the context, the elephant should be there. Understand? So to the point, what they have asked, if you don't know, better leave that question. Or if you know only few things about elephant is big in size, write that. Elephant is black in color. It has 4 legs, 1 tail, and 1 trunk, and 2 tusks. And it is vegetarian. Write that much. You will get at least 1 out of 10, If you write about wall, then you will get -1. And there is a negative marking in mains. Yeah, surprised, no? I'll tell you how. Let's say out of 250 marks, you have got 100 marks. You have got 100 marks. But the evaluator has felt that in the entire paper, lot of irrelevant things were there. So there will be a penalty of -5. Penalty of -5. You have scored 100, but -5 will get 95. We have seen in the mark sheets that penalty -5. Understood? So one paper penalty will be -5. So if they find some irrelevance in all the papers, -35. 7 papers, no? -35. So like that, the penalty is there. So you have to stick to the point. And I'll tell you the science behind evaluation, the line of thinking behind evaluation. University professors who go for evaluation, they'll be having the target for every day. They'll be having the target to evaluate. And they will be given few hundreds for each paper. They'll be given few hundred for each paper. That is like bonus to them. They'll be getting their salaries also, but the extra work what they do, like they will get the bonus in terms of the remuneration for evaluation. Okay. They'll be having the target of 20 papers every day. Just imagine 20 papers every day. And usually any government employee works for how many hours? 10 to 5 job, no? 10 to 5 means how many hours? 10 to 5 how many hours? 7? 20 papers in 7 hours. That means roughly 3 papers for each hour. And in each paper, how many questions are there? GS. 20, you know it, right? I should not teach this. 60 questions for 1 hour. In 1 hour, how many minutes are there? 60 questions in 60 minutes. That means for one question, how many minutes? 1 minute. Just imagine you are the evaluator and you have to correct one question in 1 minute. Do you read everything? Do you read everything? And if the answer is in paragraph format, if the answer is in paragraph format, do you really get motivated to read all the sentences? So what will make the evaluator's job easy? You have to show the evaluator that, sir, these are the points. Take your pen and mark here. You will not make the evaluator to read every sentence. Practical? Practical? Yes. As far as possible, if you write in bullets, for example, disadvantages 1, 2, 3, 4, it is easier for the evaluator to check. Measures 1, 2, 3, 4, it is easier to check. If you write the measures and write 2, 3 paragraphs, then it is very inconvenient for the evaluator. So that is why I tell to write more points. I might have evaluated more than 10,000 questions so far, 10,000 answers so far, not in UPSC. Generally, the students' papers, be it mains, during mains or like long-term answer writing practice or the class answers, I have seen more than 10,000 answers. And I don't get motivated to evaluate every answer. So if the answer is well structured and if the answer is with like full of points and illustrations, my job becomes very easy and I give more marks to that. And possibly with good handwriting, with good structuring, with good representation. Understand? So you have to write more number of points. And let's say 10 mark questions, maximum that we give is 6. For any best answer, we give around 6. For 6, you have to write at least 12 points altogether in that answer. 12 points, beat anything. At least there should be 12 factual things, or there should be 12 reasons, 12 measures, or if there are subheadings, let's say I told you in one question, disadvantage, measures and best practice. In disadvantage, write 4. In measures, write 4. And in best practices, write 4. Altogether, there should be some 12 solid points. There should be 12 solid points. So that will give you 6 marks, because if I come across 12 good points, I'll give half to each point. Each point I'll give half. So that will make your answer 6. Understand? So nobody will give 1/4. Please, do away that thing. Nobody will mark in 1/4. The minimum ticket for marking is half. Okay, we are that matured enough. Nobody will give 0.25, 0.125. Nobody will mark like that. Okay? Then, highlighting the keywords, isn't it important? What does it make? See, this entire process is trying to make the evaluator's job very easy. Evaluator's job very easy. So that will definitely save some energy for the evaluator. And when some energy is saved, evaluator will be happy, no? Evaluator tries to appreciate you. So highlighting is very important, because in 1 minute, reading the entire answer is highly impossible. Even the best of the university lecturers can't do that. So they will look at the very important points, the highlights. So highlight that one. Then language. You don't have to use very hi-fi language, Sometimes the evaluator will come in complex. Complex in the sense, how can this student write so good language, which I don't know? Yes, you should not, hurt the ego of the evaluator. That doesn't mean that you have to write in a shabby language. Simple sentences. Simple sentences. Don't try to complicate your sentences. Don't try to club 2, 3 points in a single sentence. Write them separately. Write very simple sentences, and vocabulary, don't try to over impress the evaluator, because sometimes your vocabulary will not be comprehended by the evaluator at all. Yes? Sometimes his vocabulary is weak. So what you have to do is, you have to write the right vocabulary. Right vocabulary in the sense, the vocabulary that is there in your NCERT books, vocabulary that you read in the newspaper, and the vocabulary that you read in the reference books. Okay? No extravaganza there. No extravaganza, no show off. And sometimes, let's say in GS paper, if the question is from science and technology, and there is a question on, let's say, artificial intelligence, and the engineers will feel like, it is my question, artificial intelligence. They will write all that beautiful language, like which they have studied in engineering. What does that mean for the evaluator? That you are revealing your identity, that you are an engineer, or you are a student of artificial intelligence. Don't reveal your identity in any of the answers. Getting my point? Some student from sociology, that student will get empowered when society questions will come. They will use, like all the thinkers' names, all sociologists' names. Don't do that. Do it in your sociology paper. But don't try to over-impress the evaluator by your optional knowledge or your degree knowledge. Understand? Be simple. And these general papers are meant for everyone equally. It is not biased against any subject or any profession. Yes? So you have to sound like an average person or a common person. Understood? Yes? Right language means your NCERT language, your newspaper language, and the last thing is your reference book language. That's it. Then correct grammar is very important. See, in only one paragraph, we can understand the level of English that we have got. Be it your sentence construction, be it the silly mistakes. I'll tell you the silly mistakes, plenty of silly mistakes. The very basic mistake and very common word, there. People interchange, these words. Worst. It gives the worst impression of your language. Then, are they same? Are they same? Are they same? Now, the common Indian mistake is putting this apostrophes. We think that that is a fashion, That is a fashion. If I put the apostrophes S, then like I am elite or something. No, that is wrong. That is murder of English. This is the plural of boy. This is the possession of a boy. This is the possession of boys. Yes or no? The common mistake, even in the toppers paper, we get this. Yeah? Then, very next level of mistake. What do you mean by this? Losing something. No, I lost my book. So lose is the present tense of lost. This lose, not tightly held. Not tightly held. And 90% of the people write this for this. And the most used word is this. Only in 5 to 10% of the occasions we use this. But in most of the occasions we use this lose. But we end up in writing this lose. If these smaller mistakes are seen in your first few pages of the answer book, then take it for granted that you are going to lose more than 10% of your marks. If you are getting 100 in that paper, you are getting 90. Or the overall impression of yours will be lost. If the evaluator feels like passing you, Will not. Okay, because these are the basic things, basic things. And that is why I keep on telling the importance of primary education. We don't teach this in, like UPSC classes. This has to be taught in the school. But who is teaching us? The person who has not got the job in any other sector end up being in teacher, and we are being taught by that teacher this good language and this good arithmetic. These are the two basic things, the language, be it English, be it your regional language, one language. If you are thorough in one language, if you are decent in one language, then that will be reflected in other language also. Be it Kannada, be it Hindi, be it Telugu, whatever it is, you have to be good in one language. So your English will also be better. But we all have joined the English schools or English medium schools. There we end up in being taught by the teachers in English being the local ones, whose mother tongue is also not perfect. Understand? So if you look at the conversation of the kids, you will laugh like anything. So that is the level of English. So if somebody has improved their English only at the university level, whenever they interact with the person who talks correct English. Otherwise, if your group is of the same quality, then your language will be there only. Getting my point? So we cannot go and sit in the primary school now. But at least from now on, we'll focus on our language. Okay? Pronunciation in India doesn't matter much. Because the pronunciation in Tamil Nadu is different from the pronunciation that is done in West Bengal. That is different from what is pronounced in Manipur. And that is different from what is pronounced in Rajasthan. Don't worry about your pronunciation, spoken. But written English has to be very good without the grammar mistake. Then good handwriting, I have told you. This is as good as the love in first sight. So do you believe in love in first sight? No. You have been burnt by that or what? No? I believe in love in first sight. That can be with anything, a person, a place, or your production. That is your handwriting. Seriously, that matters a lot. Your first impression matters a lot. The first page, your handwriting, that is going to decide your maximum marks. Getting my point? So if your handwriting is not good, please work on that. Please work on that. Otherwise, whatever that you read day and night, that's of no use. You will end up in being the prelims topper, that's it. But mains, no qualification. I have a friend, okay, so knowledgeable, so knowledgeable, so knowledgeable. I envy his knowledge, He has the knowledge about everything on the earth. Everything, I would say. Okay? So clear about everything, so clear. So clarity of thoughts. But handwriting. He doesn't complete his one word also. He eat up word. For example, let's say decent. He will be like, and the speed is also not there. Sentences he eats up, paragraphs he eats up. So he wrote or he cleared prelims in all his occasions, all occasions. Whenever he wrote prelims, he cleared it. He wrote all mains, but never qualified for the interview. Never qualified for the interview. But knowledge is like enormous. But what is the use if you are not going to produce it so well in the paper? And I would say, my knowledge is somewhere half to his knowledge. I would say it on any day, on any platform, that my knowledge is half than my friend's knowledge. Okay? But whenever I wrote mains, I went to the interview. See the beauty of, like the knowledge. Whenever I wrote the mains, I went to interview. Surprise. And we had, like the group of 8 during our preparation, group of 8. 1 year, like all of us cleared mains. All of us went to interview. Another year, nobody cleared, only I cleared. So that gives me extra, like wings, But I would say I am less knowledgeable than those people. Only because of the presentation, only because of the handwriting, only because of organizing my thoughts so well, I cleared the mains. I would tell you, when you clear the prelims, you don't have to read anything. Stop reading. Just focus on writing. Whatever that you have read for prelims, it is more than enough to clear the mains. But practice writing. Okay, the people who are writing this year's mains, we, like keep on telling them to practice, practice, practice. Read less, write more. Read less, write more. But in prelims, read more, read more, read more. Revise more, revise more, revise more. Practice more, that is, practice your paper, OMRs. More, more, more. But when it comes to mains, it is only writing, writing, writing. Get the paper evaluated, get the feedback, get the marks, and feel comfortable in the mains. Understood? So good handwriting, this is to the tunes of plus or minus 5%. Good person or good handwriting will get plus 5%. Average writing will get 0% extra. And the bad handwriting will get minus 5%. That means what? If you are placing yourself at 800 marks in mains, 800 marks in mains, a person with good handwriting will get 840. The person with bad handwriting will get 760. Gap is what? 80. 10% gap. That is what it is. 10% difference is a big, huge difference in mains. Huge. 80 marks is huge. And nowadays you might have seen the cutoff also. What is the cutoff of mains? Last 2-3 years, cutoff of mains. This year? Yeah. I would say on an average 750. 750? Good enough? 750 is what? It is less than half of the entire marks. Yes. So it is close to 43%. Close to 43%. If you get 43%, then you are through. You'll get an interview call. Then it is the interview thing, like whether you score 160, 200. So we'll count there. But here, if you get around 43%, and if you score half of this, 1,750, half is 875. You will be topper. I'll give in writing, If you score 875, that is half of the maximum marks, you will be topper. You will be in IAS, irrespective of your score in interview. In interview, if you go sit there, come back without answering, then also you'll get 120. Okay? So in that case also you'll get IAS. Understand? So in prelims, we are targeting maximum 100 marks or 90 marks to clear the paper. In mains, we are targeting around 50%, that is at the highest level, and to the worst level, 43%. So keep 50% in your mind, be it in prelims or mains, 50%. This exam is about 50% scoring. Yes? So handwriting matter a lot because I have told you it is plus or minus 5% of your marks. Eye-catching representation. See, love at first sight, looking at the beauty, beauty in the sense, it is the face. It is the face. So that is your handwriting. Then presentation. Then from face, it will come down. What you are wearing, how you are wearing, whether stylish or not, or whether you are a traditional or very modern, all that thing. So that is what is your presentation. Presentation is like handwriting is the ingredient thing. If the face is not so good, not so beautiful, you will just yes or no. Yeah, at least boys, you can be in my favor. If the face is not good, hey, it's okay. Yaar. It is not a gender, this one, gender remark or something. Forgive me. But the thing is, I'm telling you, if the handwriting is not good, then nobody cares about your presentation also. But if your handwriting is good, the presentation has to be equally good. Okay? That is like how well you have written the line. Some people write the lines, they start here and the last word will go here. And some like this. Some, so one straight line. Okay? Fine. And enough number of subheadings, points, that is like indenting all, indenting. For example, this is the paper. This is the paper. And they will tell you not to write anything in this margin and this margin and in this margin and in this margin. Finally, you have half of the paper, that's it. And let's say you start with the intro, maybe 2-3 lines intro. Then you will start with the first subheading, what they have demanded. And you want to write 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to write a diagram, somewhere to the right side, some diagram. Then the second subheading. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Then flip the page. Again the third sub question. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a small conclusion. That's it. See, here unknowingly we are wasting this space. Unknowingly here we are wasting some space. That is all management, page management. We cannot write from here to here, If you write like that, out of 50 pages, you can write only 30 pages. But we are supposed to write 50 pages in mains. 50 pages means, on an average, 80 words a page. On an average, 80 words a page. 80 words into 50 pages, somewhere close to 4,000, but 3,500 words we write in each paper of GS. Understood? Maintaining neatness. See, presentation is different. Then maintaining neatness. Let's say you have worn traditional dress, but you don't know where to put what. Yeah, usually in our like tradition, festivals and all, we end up in wearing dhoti, all that thing. But it is better to wear pant if you are uncomfortable with what? The dhoti and all. Understand? So you should wear, it should look very relevant. So like that, the neatness in the pages. Sometimes we end up in using the leaking pens, leaking pens. While you are writing, the pen leaks. You have to check all that thing. So somewhere the a bigger dot of ink will be there, and while like flipping the pages, it will spread all over. Some stray marks will happen while we are holding pen in our hand. Okay, so that all should be taken care of. And if you are drawing the diagram somewhere, there has to be a fixed place for that, and it should be neat. See, usually we end up in writing the maps. Okay, especially Indian map. At least in the entire paper, we tend to write around 4 to 5 times. See, people try to write the entire Indian map, entire Indian map like is it India? Why waste your energy in that? Simple. It gives the impression that we are writing the Indian map, no? Even if you want to mark Delhi. Enough, no? You want to mark Chennai. You want to mark Mumbai. Enough, no? Do you have to write that all difficult part? And people end up in writing the northeastern state bigger than India. So don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? And let's say you are writing one table. Let's say table. At least your horizontal and the, like the vertical lines be neat. Write it in pen only. Don't use the pencil, because exchanging pencil scale, it will waste a lot of time. Be with it with pen only, but at least the neat representation there should be there. Or you are writing a table for differences, A and B, let's say. Let it be half-half. Don't give A small space and the B big space. So there has to be a neat representation overall. Understood? Any difficulty so far? I am not coming to the content at all. I am not coming to the content. So in this class, I cannot explain you the content at all. Okay, I can tell you the content should be very straight, very forward, to the point, crisp, beautiful, in points, okay, in different subheadings. I can say that much. Okay, but content, every day you are learning in the class. Then, how should be the GS answer be? In our mains, we have essay paper, okay, then we have GS paper, okay. In essay, you'll be asked to write 2 essays in 3 hours. But in GS, 20 questions, what? 20 questions in 3 hours. I told you, the evaluator will not be having that much time to read every question, every sentence of yours. So you have to highlight, you have to write in points. But in essay, we do the exact reverse of that. We don't write in points. Bullets are not allowed in the essay at all. No highlighting. Highlighting is not allowed in the essay paper. Then, no diagrams in essay paper. It is purely your verbal play. It is purely your handwriting, your words, your sentences, your paragraphs. That's it. No other thing. No color pen also. Simple, one pen, paragraphs, neat handwriting. Okay, that is what is expected in essay. But essay, one topic, you have to write around 1000 to 1200 words. There, you have to bring in lot of ideas. Minimum 8 to 10 ideas you have to bring. Maybe you have to talk about few personalities there. You have to talk about few theories. You have to talk about few concepts. But in GS, we don't have that much liberty. We don't have that much liberty to bring in more thinkers, bring in more theories, bring in more concepts. They'll be asking one concept. You have to write thoroughly about that concept. So that is why less theory orientation in GS. Even if you write that theory name, that is more than enough. You don't have to explain that. If they ask you to explain that explicitly, then only you have to explain. Understood? Yeah? Then, generalist questions and specialist. See, usually in GS, our generalist knowledge is asked. Generalist knowledge. I took the example of artificial intelligence. Definitely an engineer can write better than the person who has studied commerce. Yes or no? Let's say the question of temple architecture. Who can write better? A history student can write better than any engineer, no? Yes? But UPSC doesn't expect both the extremes. They don't want either an engineer nor a person who has studied history. They want everyone to answer generalistic way. Even engineer should feel like, I have studied history, I have to write like the history student. Even the history students should feel like, I have studied artificial intelligence, I know what it is. So that is what is expected in the paper. That is the generalist approach. And in GS, we have to know something about everything. Something about everything. But in essay, ulta. Everything about something. because you have to write 1,200 words, no? And even that happens in optional paper also. Even in optional paper, they are more theory oriented. Take any first paper of any optional, be it literature, be it sociology, be it anthropology, be it political science. The first paper is made up of lot of theories and thinkers. Yes or no? Have you touched your optionals? Have seen your optionals? The first paper is more technical. Okay? In that, you have to write as a specialist. But in GS paper, it is just a generalist thing. Average Indian, a common person has to answer this one, not a specialist person. Okay? More objectivity or facts. I told you, to get 6 marks, you have to give 12 important things or 12 facts or 12 things where I can give half a mark to you. Getting my point? So that should be there. Lesser scope for analysis. Here, writing 12 points would get you 6 marks. But if you take one theory or one concept and keep on analyzing that, you will not get marks. You will not get marks. So, more the facts, more the marks you will get. More the subheadings, more the marks you will get. More the sub questions, more the marks. More the sub answers, more the marks. So basically, there should be some solid thing where I can give you half a mark or 1 mark. Don't expect 2 to 3 marks together for a paragraph. In GS, we cannot mark like that. So there should be scope for marking every half a mark. Understood? Then, scheme of marking is different. In essay, after reading everything, the evaluator will come to a conclusion that out of 125, I'll mark 60, 65. It is more kind of a emotional number. Out of 125, he feels like 60 or 65. That is more kind of an emotional number. But in GS, there can't be emotional marking. Okay, out of 15, I'll give 7. No. Half, 1, everything will be what? Added, and the final marks will be given. Understand? So there is no scope for emotions in GS evaluation. Whatever you have written, for that half or 1 mark, every mark will be counted and it will be put it in the number. Understood? Yes? So, for every sentence of yours, every point of yours in GS will get marks. Understood? But in essay, the overall feeling will get you the marks. Yes, finally, the evaluator has to end reading the essay, then he should feel, wow, good essay. Then he has to give marks. Or, this is the worst essay that I have seen in my life. But in GS, it cannot happen like that. Your half answer can be good. In the other half, there is a shit. But he has to mark for that half. But in essay, it doesn't happen. It should be the overall feeling. Understood? That is how it is different from the essay or the optional paper. Understood? Types of questions. Usually, if you look at the old question papers, you will see the questions either starting with or ending with explain, describe, elucidate, analyze, critically analyze, comment, opine, assess, evaluate. Should you prepare a different answer for each asking? Should you? Should you prepare separately for each of them? Explain, elucidate, all that thing? Even the evaluator will not see what is there, explain or describe or analyze, because he has 1 minute. No. He knows only the concept. Okay, this concept is asked, whether this concept is written well or not, and what all are the sub questions. Like I told, disadvantages, measures, or the best practices. I'll just see that and mark. That's it. So finally, I should not say this. It hurts me to say that don't worry about these things. Don't worry about these things. While we are evaluating, will not mark like explain, will not see like describe. But as a matter of my duty, I have to explain what all are these things. Okay? But don't have this notion that explain means I have to write in a similar way. Don't. Okay? Concept based. Concept based means there will be a concept. For example, in geography, I would ask you, what is Indian monsoon? And give me the pattern of Indian monsoon. Or explain the monsoons. Here, the entire concept of monsoon is important. So what you will do? You will take one diagram of explaining the Indian monsoon, during what time, during what, near what latitudes, ITCZ, then the shifting of the winds, then crossing the ITCZ, moving over the Indian subcontinent from the southwest, then moving towards northeast, then Himalayan region. So step by step, we will try to explain along with the diagram. Or let's say a concept in your economy. Let's say my question, what is poverty? What is poverty? Different types of poverty and the reasons for poverty. So it is a concept. So you have to roam around that poverty only. Poverty you have to define. What is that poverty? And different types of poverty. Let's say relative poverty and absolute poverty. Then maybe to explain this relative poverty, you will take the help of diagram, that is Gini coefficient. Maybe the diagram of that Gini coefficient you will use and you will try to explain, and they might have asked you like the reasons for the poverty. Maybe you will explain 8 to 10 or you will write 8 to 10 reasons for poverty and close it. So basically it starts with a definition, then the sub parts of it, maybe a diagram, and whatever the extra that has been asked in the question. It is more kind of a school question only. School question. In science experiment, what do? We write aim first, no? Aim of the experiment or abstract. Then we write the construction. Construction means, for example, if you are writing an answer on nuclear power reactor, then you will write the construction, you will write the diagram, then you will write the working. In that working, you will write the reaction also, like that. But here, in this concept, we don't have to give that working, construction, all that thing, but explain the concept well, then sub parts of the concept, if there are different theories to propound, or if there are any critic. So try to explain everything about that concept within 150 to 250 words. 10 mark questions will be asked for 150 words. Then 15 mark questions will be asked for 250 words. That's it. But we don't know. This year there can be a surprise. How they have given the surprise in prelims, there are chances that they will give surprise in mains also. For example, before 2013, the question paper used to consist of 2 mark questions also. Mains, have you seen them? Have you ever tried to see those papers? Before 2013, 2 markers. Around 22 markers used to be there. Then 5 markers. Around 20. Sorry, around 10, I think. Then 20 markers. Then 50 markers. So in a paper of, then 300 marks paper used to be there. Okay, in a paper, 2 markers, 5 markers, 20 markers and 50 markers. And you know, the question for 2 marker can be similar to the question for 50 mark also. For example, Indian monsoon I will take. Explain Indian monsoon for 50 marks. For 2 marker, what is Indian monsoon? So it is to check your dynamicity, no? The bigger concept you have to hold in few words. Smaller concept you have to write for 7-8 pages. Aren't they checking your dynamicity? So that is very much expected, but since you are not writing mains this year, none of you are writing mains, no? Okay, but there are chances? Okay, so when the results come, so looking at the outcome of the results will change the, like the way that you have to prepare. Okay, so that will do. But for the people who are writing next year, we'll wait for this year, that how the pattern will be there. Even if pattern changes this year, 2 marker, 5 marker, 20 marker, 50 marker come, it is not sure that the same thing will be repeated next year also. Getting my point? Or this year, if 10 markers and 15 markers come as usual, there is no guarantee that in 2024 the same pattern will be asked. But you have to be ready for any challenge. And only you are not challenged. Everybody else is also challenged. Okay? So the point is, you prepare for the concepts. Don't worry about the pattern for how many marks they are asking. Whether it is 2 mark or 50 mark, you should be ready to write it. Okay? So concept based, it is more kind of the school level questions like what is what? What is what? Definition, few theories, sub theories, maybe a critic, then a diagram, then close it. Then analysis based. Analysis means you are cutting something open. Okay? You are cutting open and you are trying to analyze from both the sides. Plus, minus, plus, minus. Okay? But in the analytical questions, they will ask your opinion also. Sometimes. Sometimes they will ask your opinion. You should not balance the answer. You should not say there are 10 advantages and there are 10 disadvantages. That means what? You are trying to balance. Earlier, this act of balance was there. So people used to appreciate the act of balance. But slowly, people are checking your assertion, your stand, whether you are with the positive or you are with the negative, whether you are having the good perception about one thing or a bad perception about one thing. So in that case, you have to analyze in the way either 80:20 or 70:30. Never do 50-50. 50 positive, 50 negatives. That means half positive, half negative. Don't sit with that, because that will not call you as a decisive person. That will call you as a person who sits on the fence, neither this nor there. Understand? So try to take a stand. Take a stand. Be it 70% in favor of something, be it 30% against. So you should not be blind about only one side. It should not be 100:0. You should not tell only good about something. You should not tell only bad about something. You can balance, but in this ratio, not 50-50. Understood? Yeah? Then, in that, critically analyze. Not much difference. Analyze, critically analyze, not much difference. When you are vocal about everything, be it appreciating or be it scolding someone. So if you are open, like impartially, if you are commenting on something, be brave. Don't always take the side of the government. Don't get scared by the government. Understand? Be yourself and write the answers. Then opinion based. Opinion based means you are giving your own opinion. This is beyond analysis. But opinion comes from analysis. You have analyzed something, then only you are trying to give the opinion. Okay? This opinion can be anything. It can be anything, but in the framework of the law. If you tell about, for example, a month ago, there was an issue related to the hoisting of Khalistan flag in the embassy of UK. Yes? Do you support? Do you support Khalistan? Even if you have 10% feeling for Khalistan, you should not write. Because in a way, we are trying to destruct the sovereignty of India. So, always your opinions should be under the framework of law. It should be under the framework of constitution. You should not go against the ideals of the constitution. You should not go against the ideals of law. But let's say if there is an issue like, let's say, cow slaughter, very controversial thing, no? Cow slaughter. And if I take one side, people will beat me here in the class only. But if you are not talking anything against the constitution, if you are not talking anything against the law of the land, you can write anything, you can give any opinion. So in Karnataka, the minister for animal husbandry told, in the old age of some animal, the way we cut the buffalo, the way we cut the other draught animals, why can't we cut the cow in the old age? Why can't we cut the cow? This is what is the comment of the minister for animal husbandry in Karnataka. I will give the same sentence and I'll ask you to comment. What you will comment? What you will comment? Comment can be yes or no. Will that be the entire answer? If you write for 15 marks, yes, and go to the next question. Or I support cow slaughter. Or I support, or like I'm against cow slaughter. Is that the entire answer? No, you will get 0. So to explain, no? Yes? So what is your opinion? It can be anything. Don't fear for anyone. Don't fear for that. If I go out of the class, few media channels will come take my interview and few organization will come beat me. Nothing of that sort will happen. Because this is a controversial issue. You are supposed to give a comment, but your comment should not be extreme one. It should be very healthy. It should be very healthy. I'll tell, for example, a person who is rearing a cow. Why a farmer or a person will rear a cow? For milk, no? And for using the other byproducts. Or sometimes for using on the field also. Yes? Or show me that person who has bought a cow only for worshipping. During housewarming ceremony and all, no? We try to drag the cow and put inside our house forcibly. Even at the cost of its health also. We try to break its leg because we put tiles, inside the house. There will be like marbles or very smooth tiles. It is not conducive for walking for that animal. It falls off, it breaks legs. But still we'll try to pull a cow and try to push it inside our house. So show me the person who has bought the cow only for worshipping. So we buy it for, or we rear it for one or the other benefit. Yes or no? So doesn't it has a cost? Rearing a cow, doesn't it has a cost? Don't you feed it? You feed it, right? During summer, do you know the difficulty of feeding the animals? Because there is no greenery around. You have to buy the dry grass or the dry feed for the animals, which is scarce in India. Then, once it reaches its old age, when it is unproductive, that it cannot give birth to any more offsprings and it cannot be milked also. Then what will you do? You'll keep on feeding it. After all, we are human-centric. We use everything for our selfish nature. So, a poor farmer who spends nearly 100 rupees for rearing a cow, should he keep that animal or the cow until it dies by incurring 100 rupees every day? Is it logical? So what should be done with the cow? I cannot say that it should be slaughtered on spot. So similarly, other animals should also not be slaughtered. If cow should not be slaughtered, even the buffalo should not be slaughtered because everything has life. Even a goat should not be slaughtered. According to my view. Is it against any law? Is it against any constitution? My argument? Am I going against the law, against the constitution, or am I going beyond the imagination? No, right? Okay. What can government do if they don't want cow slaughter? What the government can do? Government should buy that old cow and should take care. If the government is passing the law of not to slaughter the cow, I agree. Okay. But what about the expenditure that the farmer is incurring? Who will pay the 3,000 rupees per month? 3,000 is the budget for the month. If you spend it on cow only, then difficult, no? That old cow, can you use it on the field for some work? No. Okay. If cow is given this status, why not buffalo? I worship buffalo. Mahishasura Mardini, right? Mahishasura Mardini. She killed whom? Mahishasura, right? Or the king of the Mahisha kingdom. Mahisha means what? The face of the buffalo. So, don't you buy this argument that there are people who worship buffalo also? See, a farmer worships everyone. A farmer worships buffalo also. During Amavasya or while we wash the, wash the animals, like we do puja for everything. Yesterday there was a Purnima, so that is called as Kar Unnive in Karnataka, where the these bullocks, oxen, so they are worshipped. Every Monday in our side, the bulls are worshipped. You are ready to slaughter a bull. You are ready to, kill a bull. Why not a cow? Okay. In Hindu tradition, yes, we have. But does any religion on the earth profess the merciless killing of any animal? Merciless killing of anything? Now, coming to the other concept of non-veg. Non-veg. Is it ethical or unethical? It comes in this one, okay, ethics. Nobody will ask in GS. Non-vegetarianism, ethical or unethical? Unethical. Ethical, yes. See, here only we have two opinions. Why it is unethical? Non-vegetarianism, why it is unethical? Burden on the? Okay. See, in the entire world, we have different occupations like poultry. Yes, poultry is there, right? Poultry means rearing chicken and the hens. That is called as poultry. Why do we do that? Why do we have a poultry? Why do we develop a poultry? Finally, the production of meat, no. Production of meat. See, wherever this industry is there, that is rearing of maybe this poultry or rearing of sheep or rearing of some animal. Even people rear pigs also. Yes. What is the reason behind that? Because it is the source of food. If it wasn't the source of food, nobody would have reared it. Or poultry, the concept wouldn't have been there. Poultry concept wouldn't have been there. The way I grow plants in my field. To do what? To address my hunger. So there is industry in the world where these edible or the animals which are cut and eaten, they are being bred or breeding is done finally to use it for consumption. Getting my point? So those people will argue that even agriculture is against the nature. Even agriculture is nothing but killing of some life, no? And Jagdish Chandra Bose has proved that even the plants have life. See, it is unending debate. Unending debate. We cannot tell any practice as bad. We cannot tell any practice as good. It is up to our perception. So here in opinion, like we have to just opine. But for example, you favor the vegetarianism. You favor that. But if you want to put a point against non-vegetarianism, you have to have sufficient background, sufficient justification. I am not, like countering you. I am not countering you. Even I support you. But for 150 to 250 words, you should have solid points. You should have solid points. For example, for your argument, I would say, while we are slaughtering something, while we are cutting something, we can see the pain. We can see the pain. We can visualize the pain. We can empathize. But while plucking a plant, it doesn't bleed, no. It doesn't shout. For puja, we pluck flowers, no. That means we are ending the life of flower. Within a day or two, it will get what? It will frown, Like within a day or two, it will frown. That means we are killing a flower also. But it is used for the highest, like reverence, puja. So, the debate can go anywhere, but while you are opining, your opinion should be having proper justification. Proper justification. Getting my point? It should not be a fluke. It should not be emotional. So, some Babas or some sadhus say that why I don't eat non-veg is, like, my stomach is not a graveyard. People say, yeah, we can respect that. People feel as if they are burying some animals inside the stomach. So my stomach is not a graveyard. Good point. Good point. But you cannot force this onto the others. It is your argument. Keep it to yourself. And while you are writing the answer in ethics paper, you can use that one. Okay. Final is evaluation based. So in opinion, you can give any comment, not very extreme. Okay. But everything should be under the framework of law. Everything should be constitutional. Understood? Yes. Next, evaluation based. They'll ask you to assess, evaluate. That means usually the programs, the government programs, let's say we have Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, we have midday meal scheme, we have Manrega, that is Rural Employment Guarantee Act. So these are all schemes. They'll ask you to evaluate. So for evaluation, what do we do? It is as good as you are taking some test paper and trying to evaluate. Yes or no? So what you will do? You will take the facts, you will write the facts and tell, due to Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, these many children have been enrolled in the school. And the outcome of the schooling is this. They have been skilled. They have become literate. They have got the bigger opportunities. They have got good employment. Their average earning has increased. Their standard of living has increased. So you can give the justification with some numbers. Understand? So evaluation means you are talking about some success or failure in terms of numbers. Numbers in the sense, some theory or some survey or some report. So you are using that report and trying to tell. For example, in the education sector, there is one a private agency called Pratham, okay, which evaluates the learning outcomes of the school children. And that report is called as ASER report, Annual State of Education report. Okay, it is given every year. So that is the authentic source that we can use. Okay, if the question is on hunger and poverty, I'll use different data. For example, Global Hunger Index, or I will use the Gini coefficient for India right now, somewhere around 0.3 or something. So I use that to justify my answer. So this evaluation based, it should be based on some proofs. Some proof will be giving. But finally, in the hurry, in the run up to finish the question paper or the write all the answers, we usually neglect these words. But still okay. But as far as possible, try to give attention to these words and frame your answers just like the demand of the question. Understood? Then, finally, how one answer should look like. Among 60 questions in the GS papers, 60 questions, no? 3 papers into 20. So, 60 questions. If I ask you to frame these 60 questions, if I give this assignment to you to frame 60 questions for UPSC examination a month prior to you, UPSC gives that assignment to you. Now tell me, will you pick up some random 60 questions or relevant 60 questions? Random or relevant? See, first thing, you will be having the sense of pride, UPSC has given me the opportunity to test the upcoming IAS officers. Pride, So will you pick some random questions? Some copy paste you do? No. Okay. You have to give, let's say, 6 questions on society. 6 questions on society. What you will do? Which 6 questions you will try to pick up? Which 6 questions? Very relevant? Somewhere which is related to day-to-day current affairs? Yes or no? Day-to-day current affairs. So if somebody asks me to, give question on the functioning of railways, don't this accident, yesterday's accident will be in your mind? It will be there, right? It will be there, right? So you'll try to frame one question on that. Yes. Let's say on international relations, if you want to frame a question on international relation, G20 summit is going on, no? G20. India is pride. Everywhere you will see G20, G20. Even in the ocean, they will write G20 now. Yeah. So I'll ask one question on G20. Okay. Functioning of Indian democracy. Yeah, 75 years. Amruta Mahotsav we have celebrated. So I'll ask one question on the functioning of democracy, let's say. Okay. Let's say there are some news about the gang rape. So maybe I'll ask one question about that, about rape in society question. Let's say I have to ask few questions in science. I'll ask on COVID. For example, I have to ask few questions on geography. I'll ask the recent, the onset of some cyclone. I'll ask on that. So now tell me, won't these 60 questions be related to current affairs, one or the other way? Yes? So first of all, you have to go to the mind of the question paper setter, like why he has given this question. Why he has given this question. So this question might be having some relevance today. So that is what is the context of the question. In the first sentence, if you write why this particular question is being asked, then you will hit the bullseye. The evaluator will be happy that the reason for this question being asked, you have understood. Half the thing is done. Let's say, I was talking about Global Hunger Index. Let's say there will be a release of Global Hunger Index. So every year there will be a ranking. Let's say just before your mains examination, that particular index is released. And India's ranking, we get to know. So I'll be very much keen to ask this question about hunger. Yes or no? So 60 questions, knowingly or unknowingly, they will be related to the current affairs. So try to write the context in the start. Then comes introduction. Well, global hunger index is the question. What you will write? The India's dismal performance on the global hunger index has necessitated us to inquire into the state of hunger in India. I'll write this as the first sentence. Won't it be relevant? Because the evaluator will try to understand this person is connected with the matter also. This person is connected with the current affairs also. So he'll be happy. He'll be happy and he will be giving more marks to you. Then come to the introduction. Then write what is hunger. The state of not having food or not getting 1 square meal per day. So that is the state of hunger. And what is the state of hunger in India? How many people sleep without a square meal every day? So what is that number? Then tell about global hunger index. What all that is taken into account while we are framing this index. So write that one. India's position. Reasons for India's poor performance. Write that one. Okay. Then your answer will be complete. See, if it is a 10 marker question for introduction, you will not get more than one. Sorry, you will not get more than one. At the max, for this context and introduction together, you will get 1 mark. So introduction should be of around 2-3 lines. That's it. I have seen the people who write the introduction for almost 3/4 of first page. They can't, stop. They can't stop, and they will end up writing everything in the first paragraph only. Then they are clueless. They will get stuck. Second paragraph, they are completely blind. They don't know from where to start. So that is the thing. So in introduction, it should be very crisp. Even the context, 2-3 lines. Introduction, around 2-3 lines. That's it. Next, looking at the main question, body. How many sub-questions are asked? Or how many sub-parts can be made? That is your thinking. That is your talent. In a single question, how many sub-questions can be made? Have they asked the sub-questions directly? Can I make some sub-parts in the question? So that should be properly dealt. More the parts, more the marks. More the sub-parts, more the marks. Keep that thing in your mind, especially for the GS answers. Then illustrations. What do you mean by illustration? What do you mean by illustration? I already told you what is illustration. What is illustration? Apart from your verbal thing, apart from your sentences, apart from your words and sentences, you give some representing, like the pictorial evidences. Maybe it is a block diagram. Maybe it is a block diagram or some flow chart or some map or some timeline. Something which is not a sentence. Something which is not plain text. So you are going to support, for example, if you are reading any textbook, if it is plain words and sentences, will you get some interest? If there are some boxes, if there are some pictures, if there are some interesting things in representation, you will feel good. Correct? So like that, even the evaluator will try to think on those aspects and he expects some illustrations. Not in all questions. At least in half of the questions, illustrations should be there. Okay? And that cannot become the entire answer. That cannot become the entire answer. That is just the supporting element. That is the supporting element. then solution. See, while a particular topic is asked, they'll ask it because it is there in the news or it is very important at this point of time. And they don't want you to just raise question and depart from there. They don't want you to just raise the question. They want you to give solution also. They want you to give some solutions too. Understand? So in that case, you have to be solution oriented. Whether they ask it or not, you should be having some solution in your mind. And finally, the conclusion. The least valued part of the answer, that is conclusion. If your body part is good, then nobody worries about your conclusion, but it is a custom, it is a tradition that there should be a conclusion. Maybe of 1 line, 2 line or 3 line, not more than 3 lines. If it is there, finally, around half a mark will be given, not more than half. For any conclusion, there will be half. I have seen people writing half a page for conclusion only. Half page for introduction, half page for conclusion. Maximum marks that you get is 1.5. Body part, you get more than 70% of the marks. Okay. Sometimes without conclusion also okay. Because you might have fetched more marks in the body itself. So don't worry. Conclusion should be just a very positive remark, very futuristic idea, or some good remark at the end. It should be like at the end of the film, they give Shubham, no? Shubham. Or they will write the end. Like that, we have to write some conclusion. Not more than half a mark will be given. So for your stage, this much idea is enough. When you start writing the answers, no? So stage by stage, you will try to learn the things. I know now your answer will be relevant for less than 50%. If you write 200 words, I can get only 50 to 60 words which are meant for this particular question. Other 150 words will be some other things only. And you will keep on repeating few things in a active voice and passive voice. For example, Rama killed Ravana. So Ravana was killed by Rama. Rama was very powerful. Rama was very, very powerful. Ravana was very cruel, very, very cruel. That is why he was killed. The matter is what? Rama killed Ravana, that's it. Why, how, all that thing, that is not required. Understand? So, finally, out of all these things, in the beginning days, even if you keep these things in mind while structuring the answer, though you can't produce them literally, it's okay. But at least keep those things in mind. After you write the answer, try to evaluate it. Whether I have written the context, whether I have written the body part, whether I have written the solution part, whether I have written introduction, conclusion, have I given some illustration? Try to contemplate on that. And I am damn sure that before you go and write the mains examination next year, you have to write more than 1,000 answers. More than 1,000 answers. Understood? So that should be the practicing level. No matter how good your knowledge is, how good your language is, you have to practice. Because even best of the batsmen in the world do net practice, no? Yes or no? Have you seen Virat Kohli just going on the ground and playing? He is that player because he practices more than anyone else in the net. And that is the observation of everyone. He is a very serious cricketer. Serious. Because he is emotionally involved in the cricket. You know that. Yes, because he respects that game. He gets himself involved in that game that much. So all his emotions are valid if he is so much committed. Understand? So net practice is very important. So I don't force you to write the answers from the very first day. But whenever some chunk is over, whenever there is a test, try to write the test and submit. Understood? Okay, or Right, upload. Understood? Yeah. Then finally, some awareness about time, space, and how many words we have to write. 250 marks paper. Yes. 50 pages will be given. And you have the scope of writing 4,000 words because each page you can write 80 words. You should not write beyond 80 words also. You should not write less than 80 words also. Somewhere 70 to 100 words you have to write. Otherwise, if you write 100 words a page, you will write 200 words in 2 pages. The time will be short. Okay? So this is all the scientific calculation that I have done, and one person can write around 80 words in one page and within like 3 minutes. 80 words in 3 minutes. And I've told you, out of 10, the maximum marks that you get is 6. Out of 15, the maximum that you get is 9. So our aim is what? For each page, our target should be 3 marks. For each page, we should be getting 3 marks. Getting my point? For each page? Fine? So, 10 mark questions, 2 pages will be given, but the allocated time is around 7.2 minutes. They will not be like this, like 7.2 minutes is done, you have to skip to the next question. No, the entire paper you have to solve in 3 hours. But if you calculate like number of marks divided by number of minutes, like 7.2 minutes you will get for each 10 mark questions. And for 15 marker, you will get 10.8 minutes. But I would suggest you to finish off the 10 marker question within 6 minutes and 15 mark within 9 minutes, because it will help you. Okay, unknowingly some time will be wasted. Understand? So finally, when it boils down to each page, in one page, you can write 80 words, and one page you can spend 3 minutes, and in each page you have to get around 3 marks. 3 marks means if I go on marking half for good points, so there should be 6 solid points in each page. So that should be the idea. 6 solid points. For example, if you write the introduction for 3/4 of the page, maximum I can give for the introduction is 1, no? And how much space will be left? Around 3-4 lines space will be left. In that, you can write 1 point or 2 points. For that 1 point, I can give you half. So in that first page, you got 1 mark for introduction and half a mark for 1 point. So you have got only 1.5 marks. In the next page, you have to earn 4.5 marks. Difficult, no? Difficult? So always try to keep short your introduction, keep short your sentences so that you fetch more marks. Okay? Then similarly for 15 marks, 9 marks you will get, and 9 minutes you have to spend. Then, should you jump on to the question as soon as the question paper is given? No. You have to think. You have to organize. For example, you are writing an answer, at least make a compartment of the answer before you write. Okay, this is the answer. Okay, in this, 3 different things are asked. 1, 2, 3. Okay, under this I have to write around 4 points. Under this I have to write around 4 points. Under this I have to write around 4 points. Before you jump on to writing, try to make a structure for this. Okay, that is why I am telling you, out of these 7.2 minutes, you should write within 6 minutes. Another 1 minute is gone in planning. Another 1 minute is gone in planning. Then what about this? Around 11 minutes. But you have to write within 9 minutes. So somewhere 1.5 minutes you are giving it for planning. So for every question you have to plan, you have to have a mind map within your mind that what all that you are going to write in that paper. Okay, done? So planning should be there, then you should write writing. And in each paper, there will be 10 questions of 10 marks each, and there will be 10 questions of 15 mark each. So always pick up the 15 markers first, because you will have freshness and you will get more weightage. You will get more marks, no? In hurry, in the end, if you leave 4 to 5, 15 markers, then what? You have lost big, no? In the end, if you lose only around 4 to 5, 10 markers, you are not losing much. So that is why pick up the 15 markers first. Then go for the 10 markers. Understand? Then, you cannot know all 20 questions well. You cannot know all 20 questions well. Human mind, even the first ranker will not be getting, you will not be having the knowledge of all 20 questions. What you have to play is, among those 20 questions, at least you should pick up 12 best areas, 12 best questions of yours. And you should spend maximum energy on these 12 questions. Maybe you will take 2 hours, 20 minutes for this. For writing just 12 questions, take 2 hours, 20 minutes and try to get maximum marks there. Another 4 questions, you will be having partial knowledge. You will be having partial knowledge. Try to be honest. Write only what you know. Maybe in support of it, you draw a block diagram or some illustration. Then go for the next question. Then there will be some questions, around 3-4 questions, where you will have least idea. Least. Getting my point? Least. In that case, you will just try to manage. You will just try to manage. I told you, you had to write an essay on elephant. You only know the facts. Like, elephant is huge, elephant is black in color, elephant has 4 legs, 1 tail, 1 trunk and 2 tusks. Right, only that much. Or, just to impress the evaluator, maybe you draw the diagram of elephant. Because you are telling them honestly, sir, I don't know much, but please give me marks. You will not write, sir, please give me marks, but your actions are showing them that you are sounding honest and you want more marks. Sometimes, last few questions, let's say 2 to 3 questions will be left and only 10 minutes are left. Haven't you faced such situation in the exams before? Few such occasions, like 2-3 questions are left and you are left with only 10 minutes. You will be on sprint, you know, you will be more faster than Usain Bolt. Yes or no? So in that case, you will write whatever that is coming to your mind which is relevant. So in that case, last 1 minute is left, 1 question is left. You know few things. Maybe a diagram of that you will write and give the paper. Maybe half or 1, something will come. So by doing this exercise, you will get maximum marks here. Around 75 marks you will get here only. And around 15 marks here. And around 10 marks here. So altogether around 100 marks. It is good enough marks in any paper in GS, in mains. 100 marks in all GS papers will get you the rank. Yeah. So this is how you should not treat all 20 questions equally. You should pick up your best questions, best 12 questions first, and another 4 questions where you have partial knowledge, and last 4 questions like manage. It is just like going and saying kabaddi kabaddi, touching the lifeline and coming back. There will be one lifeline, no? Like you have to just touch that. One bonus line will be there. Lifeline if you touch, even if you don't get anyone from there, like you are saved. If you don't touch the lifeline and just go back to your court, it is as good as you are out. So just touch the lifeline and come back. So that is what you have to do in the last 4 questions. Sir, half, 1, 1.5, sir, something. Plus something, no sir, plus do half. So that is what we are asking in the last 4 questions. So clubbing all these efforts, you will get more than 100 marks in any paper. Okay? And If you take the entire spectrum of the questions, 20 questions, they will be printing the questions on the page. They'll be printing the questions on the page. You have to write the first question first. There is no escape from it. First question first. Yes or no? Can you write, strike the first question and write it at the last? No. So initial impression I have told you. Love at the first sight. Yeah. So first few pages, don't take risk. With a good handwriting, with good illustration, good presentation, you write. If you don't know first three questions, don't fluke. Don't fool the evaluator. Leave that question. If you don't know, don't write something in that. Okay? First three questions I'm mentioning. If it is last three, you can do a bit. Some cheat code you can apply. But first three questions, don't do that, because the initial impression what you have created, that will last on the evaluator until the last question. Initially, if you impress, at the end, you have done some cheating. It's okay. That can be digested. Initially, if he gets to know that you have cheated, then it will give a very wrong idea. Okay, I have told you about this also. Maximum marks. Yeah. This is not required. This is at the later stage, I'll tell you. Okay, so we'll break here. And